If you have ever applied for an Australian visa, you already know the experience builds character. Some people go to the gym, others meditate. You, however, refresh the Skill Select website every few hours, hoping for an invitation round that has the frequency of a rare moon event. But good news, the subclass 189, Skilled Independent Visa, just received a makeover. A real one, not a light touch-up. The Department of Home Affairs has introduced an entirely new selection model, and for once they actually wrote it down in a document. Someone had to pry it out of their hands through a Freedom of Information request, which is the government version of asking your friend what they really think of your haircut. Still, we finally have answers, and the answers are interesting. Let us walk through this updated 189 model. The new system, Australia Attempts Order. The new subclass 189 model is built around structure, real structure. The department wants to look organized, predictable, and data-driven. It is almost like they looked at Canada and said, we can do that too, but with slightly more mystery. The new rules include a tiered occupation system, occupation ceilings, yearly calibration, and a commitment to transparency. If the word calibration makes you picture someone tuning a guitar, you are not alone. But here, it just means the department will adjust numbers every year depending on labor market needs. This model is designed to balance the intake across different occupations. In simple language, they want to avoid a situation where engineers fill the entire migration program, while nurses stand outside like guests who forgot their invitation. Occupation Ceilings Australia says enough for now. When you hear the phrase occupation ceiling, you might imagine a ceiling made of resumes. Sadly, it is not that dramatic. It is simply a limit. A maximum number of invitations that can be issued for an occupation in a year. Occupation ceilings used to exist years ago, disappeared for a bit, and now have returned like a character in a TV show who was written out, but fans kept asking for them. The government now takes the number of people already working in that occupation in Australia, multiplies it by a percentage, and calls that the ceiling. When the ceiling is reached, that occupation is politely closed for the year. No thank you. Try again. Next program year. This solves a major issue from previous years. Some occupations used to flood the system. Others barely received a drop of attention. Now the department can spread invitations more evenly, sort of like dealing out cards but with fewer arguments. According to the Freedom of Information document, the purpose of this change is transparency, accountability, and better economic targeting. In real people language, this means the old system was unpredictable enough that even the department had trouble explaining it. Policymakers finally decided to create a process that they can defend without breaking into a sweat. They also want to make sure Australia attracts high-quality candidates. When a skilled worker with 90 points starts considering Canada because at least the invitations there arrive more often, it is time for a system upgrade. The famous tier system for the 189 visa. Every occupation is now placed into a tier. Tier placement is a tactical way of saying some occupations are needed badly, some are needed moderately, and some are needed like an emergency chocolate stash. Useful, but not vital. Tier 1 and Tier 2 occupations are the favorites. High demand and strong need. These occupations will likely receive invitations sooner and more regularly. Tier 3 and Tier 4 are still welcome, but with realistic expectations. If your occupation is in Tier 4, your chances depend heavily on your points. The tier system adds a strategic layer to migration. You cannot simply rely on a high score anymore. The system now checks both your points and your occupation's popularity. Do not for a second think points have lost their power. Points remain crucial, especially in occupations with smaller ceilings. If your occupation is in Tier 3 or Tier 4, you will need strong points to stand out. Think of it as trying to get noticed in a crowded room. If everyone looks similar, the person with the highest points is the one who shines. So if you have been avoiding the English test or dragging your feet on claiming those extra skilled years, this is your cue. The new system rewards people who prepare early instead of people who rely on the luck of the next invitation round. Quarterly invitation rounds. The predictability we asked for. Here is a sentence nobody expected. Invitation rounds for the subclass 189 will now generally be held quarterly. Yes, as in 4 times a year. Predictably, not once in February, then again 3 years later. For years, applicants had remained in suspense. People would check Skill Select like they were checking stock prices. Parents asked why their adult child was still awake at 2 a.m., which is because of invitations. The department has heard the collective stress and decided to introduce a solid schedule. Quarterly rounds give applicants a clear timetable. You know when your chances are coming. You can finally plan your anxiety instead of letting it surprise you. There is also an option for targeted monthly rounds. These are like bonus rounds when urgent labor needs appear. If Australia suddenly needs 300 more cybersecurity specialists, or 200 more nurses, or 100 more people who can fix the coffee machine in Parliament, targeted rounds will take care of that. What applicants should expect. Now that we have covered how the system works, let us talk about what you should expect. First, more structure. Not perfect structure, but more than before. Australia is moving away from the old pattern of chaotic invitation rounds that felt like they were scheduled by a magician. Second, occupation demand now plays a much bigger role. If your occupation is high demand, rejoice. If your occupation is low demand, it is time to work on your points and consider backup options. Third, applicants should begin exploring employer-sponsored pathways. The 482 visa remains one of the most realistic alternatives for people whose 189 chances might be thin. There are real sponsorship opportunities, and some websites focus on employers who are actively sponsoring. If your occupation has tiny ceilings, this is a smart move. Fourth, preparation is everything. Make sure your skills assessment is done. Make sure your English test score is strong, and make sure your points are accurate. The new system favors organized applicants, not last-minute hopefuls. Is the 189 still worth chasing? Many people worry the new system has made the 189 too difficult. That is not the case. The subclass 189 is still one of the most desirable visas because it gives you permanent residency without needing a sponsor or a state. Freedom, flexibility, the right to live anywhere, work anywhere, and build a future without conditions. The new model does not weaken this visa. It simply distributes invitations more fairly and more strategically. If you have strong points and your occupation is needed, the pathway remains solid. The key is understanding your position. Know your tier, know your points, and know your competition. With that information, your chances become clearer than they have been in years. The updated Subclass 189 model is Australia's attempt to create balance, structure, and transparency in a visa that has been unpredictable for far too long. It introduces ceilings to prevent domination by specific occupations, tiers to guide selection, and quarterly rounds to restore order. If you adapt to the new system, your prospects remain bright. The 189 is still a strong and achievable visa for skilled migrants. You just need to play the game with strategy rather than hope. Prepare well, stay informed, and keep your points competitive.